Yo, yo, yo. All right, welcome to Overly Opinionated. Rest in peace to fallen kings.
Yep, man. Free the guy.
Free the guys, for sure. So before we get into it, man, I just want to say, there's been a lot of contact from listeners of the podcast and supporters.
And it's greatly appreciated.
Greatly appreciated. I really do. That means the world to me. I'm sure it means the world to you. I don't want to speak for you, but it's I think the interaction so far is the most rewarding part. Getting this shit off definitely feels good. Putting something out into the world definitely feels good. But getting that interaction, man,
next level.
It makes it worth it, bro. Also, I want to give a shout out to all the podcasters out there, because this should take work.
Yeah, and time.
It take a lot more than I expected it to. So everybody who out there doing their own thing, definitely big respect to you, and thank you to the specific ones who know exactly who I'm talking to. Nikki and Gabby.
Yeah, shout out to Pretty Social.
Shout out Pretty Social Podcast, because y'all definitely inspired us to get this thing jumping off.
Greatly appreciate y'all.
With no further ado, though, we got a topic.
A great topic.
We got a topic today. So, I wanted to ask you about arguments within your relationship with your woman, specifically, but also across the board, right? We definitely interact with people certain ways, and I remember the reason that I wanted to ask you was because I remember one of the first things that bonded us in our relationship was you had a contentious relationship with your woman.
Yeah.
And you would hit me up for advice. Or really it wasn't advice. You didn't want advice. You just wanted somebody to tell you was right.
Yeah. That's
and
it.
I've seen a lot of growth in that.
Toxic shit.
So let me give you the floor. How do you see arguing in your relationship and the growth that you've made?
I know there is growth, but there's so much more to do.
Quit all that sweet shit.
No, for real, because I feel like I didn't grow enough, because I don't see the growth until I realize later on. Damn, I'm not reacting like I normally react. So my growth don't even feel like I grew.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Truth be told. My toxic shit that I do, I still do it, but just less of it. Yeah, it's just less. But it's weird, because it's my arguments are mainly based off how I react to things. And I don't think before I react at all. And then my pride is a heavy motherfucker. Really heavy. I tried to be prideless, but I really just always want to show I'm that nigga.
Prideful.
For real, that shit could be bite me in the ass.
It has already.
Yeah, a lot.
It does.
But I see growth when I'm not arguing. Yeah. That I see growth when I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
But when I'm arguing, it's damn, I'm still the same nigga.
Nah, man. I definitely understand that, because I feel very similar. I feel very similarly to that. But I also, it's way easier to say this from the outside looking in, but when you are able to acknowledge when you're doing the bad thing, when you're doing the unhealthy thing, that is such a gigantic step in the right direction, especially after seeing your relationship 3 years ago. Yeah. That wasn't a thing. You're not apologizing. You're not trying to get to the bottom of anything. You're going to get your shit off.
Yeah.
And hopefully she gets over it before the end of the night.
And to touch on that, it's I see what I'm doing when I'm doing it, but then that pride kick in. It's I can't turn back now.
Yeah.
So that's the toughest part for me.
Yeah.
It's the not be able to turn back and apologize. That's for real.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up, because I think one of my biggest difficulties is that exact same thing. One of my main difficulties in arguments is once I get to that point of no return where I'm not even arguing a point anymore, It's literally, I just want to be right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not arguing a point. I'm literally just trying to be more right than you at a certain point. And it's hard for me to acknowledge that and bail. Yeah. Like, like Easy the Block Captain said, if I'm going to ask for forgiveness, I'm going to complete my sin.
That's a
fact. Like, tomorrow, I'm going to apologize. Yeah. So we going to get all of this. We going to get all this off. And that's how, so the last time I had that kind of argument with my wife, I said in the moment, I was like, you know what? I'm not even arguing.
Oh, that's so
tough. I'm not even arguing a point right now. I just want to be right. Like, I know I'm mad right now, and I'm still saying it in like a nasty tone. Yeah. But I'm realizing like this isn't even an argument. And what sucks to me about that is that this is something that I told you at the beginning of our relationship. It doesn't matter if you're right if you look like an asshole. Yeah. So I still, to right now, feel like I was right in the argument we were having. The initial argument we were having. But because I had gotten so angry and gotten to the point where we're not even arguing the point anymore, I'm just mad. And I'm trying to make sure you are mad and I'm more right than you. I'm apologizing at the end of the day. Yeah. I'm apologizing even though I genuinely feel like I was right. So not only does it cause a rift in our relationship, but it also means that like the point we never got to the point, and I have to eat the fact that like I was just wrongfully right.
Yep. So I have a question. Do you have a time limit when you argue?
What do you mean?
Is there a time you just can't argue right now? You gotta just put it on pause.
I'm sure there is, but it's only when like we're gonna be in public.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's tough.
What do you mean?
So for me, after a certain time at night, I am not arguing with you. It's time for bed. We can resume this the next day.
Now, we've always known that we differ here. Yeah. I need to get this off now. I need to get this off now. Sarah be trying to go to sleep. No, sir. Nope.
Comfortably.
No.
I sleep comfortably.
I'm rolling over. And I'm comfortable rolling over still, making sure you up.
And I can see how that looks like you don't give a fuck, but I promise you that's not it. It's like, you're not going to get my full feelings if I'm not ready to argue right now. You're just not. So when I'm ready to argue, I think we should argue. Like,
but you see how that's difficult to manage, like...
Yes. It's hard. I know. It's hard to unmad yourself and then get mad later when you're ready for this conversation. Yeah. But in a way, wouldn't that be smarter so you can have a logical conversation?
Yes, man, but it's like you're forcing it.
Yeah, it's which is the wrong.
Yeah, it's not. The way that it would be healthy is to work that is to agree that we're arguing emotionally and to save it for later when we can argue not so emotionally. But you're basically saying, look, you trying to get your shit off, I'm going to sleep by. That's not how that's not how that's supposed to go.
So would you call that toxic?
Yeah. I want to avoid using the word toxic as much today just because I think it's overused and I think that might like lose a little value, but like definitely unhealthy. That is the unhealthy way to do it.
But I'm trying to think, this is about to sound crazy, of me and my fiance's best arguments. When I say best arguments, we handled it the best when possible. Yeah. And the best I can come up to is me sacrificing it's too late to argue.
Now, when you say we handled it the best, do you mean that one of you made the decision to handle it a certain way, or the both of you did like the most healthy thing possible?
I think one sacrifice.
Yeah. That's almost a necessity, bro.
Okay, I was about to say. I think that's needed.
Yeah.
In order for it to be healthy.
Now, the reason that it feels so difficult for us to put our pride aside when we're just angry, the reason it's difficult to have the conversation when in reality you're just so emotional, is because it feels unfair to you. Mm-hmm. It feels unfair that I have to apologize even though I'm right. It feels unfair that I have to calm down even though you're so wrong.
Yeah.
But the reason that one person has to sacrifice is because we need at least one person who is emotional to realize that they're so emotional towards this person that they love so much that the argument is only worth getting to the bottom of the problem.
Yeah. And that's one of the toughest things to do.
It's near impossible. I'm not going to lie to you.
And then also, I think people don't choose that sacrifice because sometimes they feel like it's a relationship. It's supposed to be 50-50. If I got to do something, you have to do something. And in reality, that's just not how it is.
It's not how it is.
Yeah, it really not. Because I don't think you can really have that 50-50 sacrifice.
I think you can, just not in the moment necessarily.
Yeah, that's what I'm speaking on.
Yeah.
Like, that's very rare. Damn near impossible. Like,
yeah,
two logical people about to sit down.
Who's emotional?
Set their feelings aside.
Yeah.
Like, come on. That's just, I don't think that shit
It's,
really
it's definitely difficult. And you hear, especially a lot of young people say, like, oh, it can't be 50-50. It got to be 100-100. Like, I understand what they're trying to say, but you are 50% of your relationship. There's only 100% of the relationship.
Yeah.
You are 50% of it. You have to give 100% of yourself to get that 50%. And the other person has to do the same. But sometimes you have to take 70% of the burden. Sometimes you have to take 80% of the burden. And I'm not saying that you should be redlining at all points to carry somebody and be their crutch emotionally. But sometimes people not feeling their full selves. Sometimes they can't give 100% of themselves. And if that's a habit, definitely have a conversation with your have a conversation with your significant other to figure out what y'all got to do to get 50% out of each other.
Yeah.
But there have been points where I have to carry my wife 30%.
Yeah.
There have been times, and I'm totally for that because there have also been times where I can only give 15.
Especially when it's an argument that matters more to them than you.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's plenty of times like that.
I deal with that a lot. So I got to ask you, what's your most unhealthy arguing trait?
Oh, my boy.
I got to hear this.
Dog, I wish I was worse at being an asshole. I'm so fucking good at it that I don't necessarily intend to do it when I'm doing it. And once you show me, like, once there's any amount of, like, closed-offedness in our conversation, in our argument, like, once you show me that you're not receptive anymore, oh, I'm letting it off. Like, I'm about to, like, I'm poking holes in everything in the most asshole-ish way. Like, I become almost like I'm picking on you.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like, once we get to that point in the conversation, it's almost like I'm picking on you. Like, people have told me multiple times that it seems like I'm trying to belittle them. Now, a lot of times that's not the case. But once we're so far in an argument, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I lie about it.
I get told that
and I lie
damn
about
near
it.
every argument. Truth be told.
Yeah.
And again, that is not my intentions. I swear. But
sometimes it is, though. You lying.
I don't think so, man.
No, sometimes it is.
No,
though.
because
Bro, I have been there. Sometimes it is, though.
No, that's just how I am. But that's not my intentions is not to belittle you.
You got some soul searching to do, family.
But look,
you got some soul searching
I got two for you. I got two. It's either going to be when you express your feelings and I'm the spotlight, I'm expressing what you do wrong. To get me out the spotlight. That's one.
Wow.
That's one.
Wait. When you say that, you mean like, oh, Darian, you don't take the trash out. And then you like, yeah, but you don't.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Take the spotlight off me. I know that. Yeah, listen, I know that is bad. And then my other one has to be apologizing.
You don't do it.
It's so hard because it's like the rub in the face, it feels like. But she don't do that. But because I'm that type of guy, like, that's what I thought, I expect her to do it. Even though she never shows signs that she'll do that. It's just, no, you're not about to...
You mean the rub in your face?
Yeah.
You don't want her to bring it back up later?
Because that's something I would do. And I'm putting that onto her. And she has never did it. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's so hard for me to apologize.
Nah, that makes sense, man.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I would say that it's hard for me to react before apology. It used to be hard for me to apologize because I feel like I'm admitting that I'm wrong when I don't feel like I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Like what I was saying earlier, how like I stop arguing the point and now I'm just arguing to be right. There were times that I wasn't comfortable apologizing and feeling like I was right. And like those two things don't go together.
Did you
for
still
me.
Apologize?
No. There were times where I can't do that. There were times where it's like, well, I'm sorry that your feelings got hurt, and that's not. Come on, bro, that's garbage.
See, I'm a different type of argument because I don't think there's nothing wrong with saying that.
There's nothing wrong with saying that, but there's something wrong with not acknowledging why feelings got hurt, what you did to hurt feelings. It's different to say that I am apologizing for how you feel right now and saying I'm apologizing for my part in how you feel right now. And the latter is definitely more healthy than not acknowledging that you played a role in someone's like emotional state when you absolutely did, and you know you did, but it was hard for me to get to that point because I feel like I'm right, and that's what mattered to me so much. And recently, this is how I know that it's growth, and this is I bring this up to let you know that even though it's not perfect, you can at least acknowledge that it's better, because I have gotten to a point now where I beat myself up about not being able to apologize sooner. Like, I can't stop my reaction. I always react, and then 5 minutes later, I'm like, "Damn, I'm so sorry, baby." Like, that went to a place that I wish it hadn't, because that's not what I was getting at here.
And that's why I don't feel like I ain't grown, because again,
you grown.
When I get to that road, it's like I'm on this bitch. Might as well finish the route out. Like,
so what
that's why I still feel that like we here. So like,
yeah,
this is gonna come again. I can apologize next time. Right.
Now, what I can definitely tell you as an outsider that's on the inside, you have certainly grown because you care how she feels due to your actions. That was not the case 3 years ago. You used to put how she feels 100% on her. Like, if you did something...
That's crazy. That is true.
Yeah, if you did something and she was upset about it, you was like, that's her problem. I don't got nothing to do with that. Don't got nothing to do with me. I'm going to do me. And recently, I was over here to record a podcast, and we were talking just as homies about, like, and she wasn't even here. Like, it wasn't a show or nothing. But you were talking about how, like, you have to behave this way because of how you don't want to affect your woman, and that shit is hard to me. Like, I told you then that shit was dope, but like, it's clear, it's very clear to anyone who knows you, who's been around y'all together. It's very clear the growth that you've had, and even though I want to tell you, like, give yourself flowers while you're doing it, because like, you definitely are doing it. I respect your desire to be so much better, because that's going to make you so much better so much sooner.
So I greatly appreciate that so much. Now, I'll be a fool to say you didn't help me with this journey. I'll be a fool to say that shit. But I have a question for you. Who helps you with your arguing traits? Like, do you go to advice from single people, married people? What? Where you get your advice from?
I promise I don't say this to be cocky, but I get my advice from failing. Like,
that's not cocky at all.
The best way that I ever learned to do anything is to fail doing it. And, like, legit, everything that I've ever learned about human interaction is because I was bad at it. Like, all of it.
So if you could prevent yourself from failing, would you ask for advice?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It's just, I watch people fail more than I watch people succeed. Like, I think you would agree that most of the relationships you see, they go at it, bro. And they're not looking for healthy ways.
Yeah.
A lot, like, most of the relationships that I see, they're not looking for healthy ways. It's almost like what we were talking about last week, to have a little bit of a callback. The generational cycle that we've kind of been given is that contentious is how relationships go. Like, you have to work through it, and that literally means y'all have to hate each other sometimes. That's what I saw. Like, you have to hate each other sometimes. Sometimes you just got to not be good. And you, like, got to deal with that. Because we didn't see, like, good problem solving. Yeah. We didn't see, like, the good type of mediation. It was kind of like, we going to argue, we going to make up, and that's it.
That's such a great point. Because it's not, you got to hate each other. that's unhealthy. The healthy things, I hate yourself for what you did wrong.
I don't think you have to hate anyone.
I think so, because if you hate what you did wrong, you would try not to do that again.
That's very different than hating yourself, though, for doing the wrong thing.
That's what I mean.
I think it's probably best to, like, hate the effect, for me personally at least, like, the way that I am inspired to do different. I'm motivated to do differently by affecting my wife negatively. Like, the more negatively I see it affected her, the less I want that to be the case. So when I say that I learned by failing, with all of my relationships, all of them, all of my would have been relationships, I noticed an effect. And I went through, what could I have changed to have made that better? Like, and that may sound like difficult to believe to some people, but like, niggas used to be lonely, bro. Like, niggas really used to be lonely. Niggas used to be dolo, trying to figure out, like, I had 2 homies, bro, like, for real, trying to figure out, like, what is it that's not going right? Like, what is it that people not fucking with? You have those interactions, you just replay them over and over. What could I have done differently? You do new shit. You do different shit. Especially, like, one relationship that has helped me gravely is my mom. Like, really? Me and my mom, we did not get along, bro. Like, at all. Like, I used to think that at some point, she was just going to be completely done with me. And at that point, like, it hurt me to think that, but it made sense because we're so different. And the arguments that we had would always go similarly. And it's like, there has to be a way. There has to be some. Now, she's wrong as fuck. She's wrong as fuck. There's no doubt in my mind, right? That's something else that I had to get over. But at the time, she's wrong as fuck. That shouldn't mean that we can't still love each other by the end of the day. So I had to find ways for her to be wrong as fuck and me not end up hurting her for it.
Yeah, I need to work on that, because when someone is wrong, I have to let them know.
I know, bro. Listen.
Oh my God. That's, honestly, that probably keep me up at night. Not a lot of things keep me up at night. But that, I have to let you know, like, for real, like, that shit truly bothers me.
I feel that.
Like, because I can't stand nothing more than somebody who walk in the room wrong as fuck, who don't think they're wrong.
Who don't know. Just confidently wrong.
Like, what?
I'm going to let you know.
Yeah. That shit grinds my gears.
And this is something you've actually told me to be less of this. But I'm having to learn to get out of feeling like I need to be the arbiter of truth. Like, I don't need to be the executor of, like, no, you're wrong. Like, it's really hard for me to deal with that. It's hard for me to deal with that now. But, like, I have found ways around it. Like, you may not have to go about it in such a way.
Yeah.
Which is the thing that I used to do. Like, the way that I argue now, when I get angry, like you said, what's the worst things that you do in arguing? It's arguing as if, like, you're an idiot for not knowing this. Like, that's how, like, I would argue, and that's how I would be if you were wrong, just wrong.
Yeah,
like,
and that's
you don't even have to make me mad.
Come in.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Right there, because I say shit like that, and I get common things, man.
Yeah,
common things, like, and again, like, I don't ever try to be like dogging someone like that, but that I have to show my emotion.
Yeah,
and when I argue, oh yeah, it's all out.
Yeah.
And I don't like to raise my voice when I argue or none of that. But when
I wish I was like you.
When this is about to sound like belittling, but when the stupidity comes out,
it is, bro. No, it is belittling.
Like, how though? Like, letting you know the truth.
But the truth isn't that the person you're arguing with is stupid. That's not the truth. No.
When you say something stupid, I have to let you know how stupid that was.
You don't though.
Like, but you have the nerve to say it to me while I'm passionately talking with you. Oh yeah, you taking me to the next level. But
you do realize that perspective means everything.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I realized my growth when I started seeing perspective.
Beautiful, bro.
That's a fact.
That's what I'm talking about.
And because it's a couple arguments that I had recently, like this year. It was like, damn, that makes 100% why you took it this way. I'm reading this can literally go both ways. As I took it, like, just a miscommunication. And then because I read something and I automatically think that is it, I don't think about the other side of how you can interpret this, could have prevented an argument. Easily could have prevented something. And I realized that. Like, just that small little detail. So, I think with me, that's just helped me be more clear when I say things.
Yeah, facts. So, yes, definitely. And also, so perspective is a big part of my growth as well. Like, just as a person altogether. I think once you get so familiar with perspective and how different it can be from what you see, it opens a door, like a gigantic door, for like just bounds of empathy. Like when you can completely understand where someone else is coming from, you don't get as emotional because they're not intentionally being, like you said, stupid. It's not somebody who is disagreeing with you because they just want to be wrong as fuck. Like, you're not learning from me at all. You can just listen. You're wrong, and this is how you're wrong. You can have empathy, and you can, like, explain it to them from their perspective. It makes it so much easier to not get emotional for so long. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I got that shit. I got empathy in abundance. Until I'm mad. Once I'm mad, bro, it's out the window. Like
you definitely become selfish, right?
Bro, you have no. I had an argument with my wife last week where I'm just like, I was a piece of shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. The reason we were having the argument is because I'm a piece of shit. Like, she made a request of me that was reasonable enough. Like, I'm not saying that it's easy, but it's reasonable enough. Yet, here I am. Like, look, this can't be. Like, you're asking so much from me. You know what I mean? Like, she's asking me to step up on chore game. Like, she's asking me to step up on chore game, which is reasonable as fuck.
Yeah.
But here I am saying, like, look, man, that's just not, like, that's not me. You basically asked, like, what if I asked you?
Now you look crazy. Like, oh, yeah, that's.
What if I asked you to be a whole different person?
That's a tough one because I deal with that shit too.
Yeah.
And then she do this so much, she make it look easy.
Yeah.
And then when you go to try, it's like, this shit ain't even fucking near easy.
Look,
like, and you want me to change my whole fucking schedule for this shit?
Darian,
I don't care enough for it.
Bro,
I don't care
listen
enough
to
for
me.
it.
Listen to me. The argument that we were having, she was having a tough time accepting that I would rather have a dirty house than to clean. And she kept saying, like, isn't your goal to not have a dirty house? I was like, yeah. I would much prefer to not have a dirty house. She was like, well, then at some point you have to clean. I was like, see, the bigger goal is to not clean. Now look. It took me about a day because she was not happy with the way that conversation went because I was nearly unmoving. Like, I completely understand. Like,
You was set in stone with that shit.
It's not even that I was set in stone. I was giving her, like, a wishy-washy answer. It's like, I'll try to do more. Like, I'll try to get... And it's like...
No intentions?
Bro, no, I had intentions, but it's like, I've had intentions before.
Why would it change here?
Yeah. Like, I have the intentions, but that doesn't mean anything when you have an expectation.
Yeah.
Intentions don't feed expectations. They just don't.
Yeah.
So, like, after a day and seeing how upset she got about it, like, it really bothered me that I can't be enough of, like, I can't grow enough to say, yeah, I will pick up an extra 2 days. And it's even crazy hearing myself say it, like, extra 2 days? Like, nigga, that's your mess.
Yeah, see, I would have, for me, that's how I knew I grew, because that right there, I wouldn't have even apologized. I was like, fuck. I would have just did a little extra the next morning, and then, like, did you notice I took the trash out today? Like, I would have eased up into it, like, because that's how I know, like, because that's what happened this weekend. Like, I worked Saturday, but before I left, I woke up a little early, took all the trash out the house, brought the dirty clothes downstairs. She asked me to do that weekly.
The trash is your move regardless, though.
Yeah. Like,
you can't count the trash. That's the same. I tried to pull that same shit last week,
but
bro. That's not how it works.
If I gotta wash dishes, you can take out trash.
Nah, that's crazy.
How's that crazy?
You have your lady take out trash, bro?
Rarely.
Nah, nope.
Rarely.
Nah, nope.
But I made the argument, though, if I have to touch a dish to clean, Why can't you take the trash out every now and again?
No, those ain't the same thing.
Why is it not?
I don't know why, but they're not. I don't know why, but they're not. Like, I don't have a good argument for you. And if you told me that you consider them the same, I cannot disagree with that, but I do. I disagree with it.
It feels wrong because she shouldn't use race. A woman shouldn't take out the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had to wash dishes growing up, didn't you?
Yeah.
See? That's why. That's the only reason why. I hate dishes a lot. So much. But if I have to do them, you can take out the trash. But sometimes she does both. Sometimes,
wow,
which is rare. It's very rare. Like, I take the trash out almost all the time. Like, she'll even tell me, "Oh, you didn't take the trash out." The only way she'll take trash out is if she needs trash out right now, and I'm not here. She's not gonna wait all day till I get home. She'll do it there.
Yeah,
and then I gotta apologize. It's tough. I know I should take on the trash, but I do apologize in moments like that.
Now, real quick, do you know what a fourth wall break is?
No.
It's what I'm about to do right now. For all the ladies that are snapping at their phone right now because woman is taking out the trash, try to see his perspective.
No, for real. And then they think her taking out the trash one time is like, oh, damn, she did a year's worth of trash. No, it was just one time. Yeah. I forgot.
What they think is that she need to move on and do better. That's what they thinking right now. She need to move on and do better because you clearly ain't got it.
Well, that should be so tough.
But no, to be honest, like, those are things that, like, it took a lot of time for me to accept that the way that I was doing it wasn't necessarily the way that it had to go. Like, I need to bring up every time you're wrong. I need to defend myself every time I'm right. And I can do it loudly. And I can do it however it is that I need to do it. I need to get my point across. And, you know, the more that you see the reactions and the effects of your actions have on your loved ones, like, it is so much easier, like, seeing it over and over again, knowing what the problem is. Yeah. Oh, when I yell, you shut down. I need to not yell. Oh, when I belittle you, you shut down. I need to not belittle you.
So, have you noticed the change in your arguing, change how your wife argue? Not react, argue.
That is a great question, and the answer is yes.
For good?
Okay, so it's different for me. It's different for me because my wife is very soft-spoken. So before, in our arguments, she used to just close off as soon as emotion got into it whatsoever. Like, her feelings are hurt and she lets me know, and that's fine. I get upset to any degree. And any of those toxic traits, unhealthy traits, any of those things rear their heads, she's done. Like, she's going to sit down. She's going to stop talking to me. She might even say okay a couple of times, which is just going to light a fire on me, bro.
Wow, she's just like me.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I'll put headphones in when you're talking to me. And sit here and look at you.
It gets me hot. It makes me want to destroy everything that you have, replace it, and then destroy it again.
Because my fiance is very well spoken when she's upset.
Yeah.
Very well spoken.
Yeah. But that, like, because of how it used to be, and I've worked on, like, not reacting that way, but also we have worked on separately her not being so soft-spoken when she has something that she needs to get out. And because of that, like, me being the one who's kind of, like, walking with her on that journey, it's made it to where she takes up my argumentative characteristics. So the belittling thing, the being an asshole thing, like, she's picked up on that. So now when we're having an argument and she gets emotional, it looks a lot like me getting emotional.
But that's just what she learned.
It triggers the fuck out of me, bro.
Wow.
Like, I couldn't imagine. I apologize to everyone who's listening. Mom, I know you listening. I am so sorry that you've ever had to argue with Savon. Because now I argue with Savon through my wife. And, it is infuriating.
So, for me, I was just like your wife. But me changing the way I argue, she has become a lot healthier. And now when she argues when I do something wrong, I just look more like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me think, like, damn, I am really wilding.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's from the change of me wanting better. To realize I'm looking like a piece of shit.
Yes, absolutely. Realizing that is like a really good thing, as long as in time you're able to make the next step and feel like a piece of shit for something different.
That's also another unhealthy trait for me. When you call me out on something, my first reaction is to deny it.
Wow, what?
Deny it. Oh, that's not true. Not true. Nope. I don't even have to hear what you said. Not true. I'm cutting you off. Not true. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before we get too far off of it, I do want to go back and say, like, it has absolutely gotten better for both sides. Like, my growth has definitely, like, reflected, and Sarah's growth was probably reflected on me as well.
Yeah.
But, like, there was a period there where we didn't argue. And growth was actually her speaking her mind. And there was definitely a period there where that caused a lot more arguments because I was unwilling to accept that she was actually upset because this has happened before and you didn't care.
Damn, I have a lot of unhealthy traits because when you said that, I don't think an argument should be an argument if I don't think you have a valid reason to be upset.
Yeah, that's super crazy.
Yeah,
that's
another.
insane.
Yeah, that's another one of mine. If I don't find it valid, it's not worth arguing. Yeah, and that's when my nonchalant kicks in. I'm nasty to nonchalant. So she gave me the crown for that. I'm not gonna say I am myself. She gave me the crown for that. But yeah, I'm gonna put that another. Damn, I had a lot of them.
No, we all do, bro. Like, maybe I don't have like as many specific characteristics, but my inability to overcome the ones that I have, bro, it is glaring every single time I argue. Like, every time. The new thing, the newest thing is the acknowledging when we're arguing emotionally. Like, that's brand new. Like, literally, like, last month, we, like, sat down and had a conversation after an argument. Like, I come and apologize because I know that I looked like an asshole. I know that I was a piece of shit in this conversation. Like, I come and I apologize, and I'm like, I wish I had a way to avoid this. We sat down, game planned, and now we are trying a new thing where we go about this like, okay, we're arguing emotionally. We acknowledge it in the moment. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but so far, I've been the only one who has been able to, like, do that in the moment.
Yeah.
So, like you were saying with your woman, it kind of makes her feel like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. Yeah. Because, like, but to me, it makes it feel like we have a chance to do this. Yeah, because at least one of us is able to sit back and, like you just asked a beautiful question, like, doesn't that rub off?
Yeah.
And it does. Like, there will come a time where this isn't a problem for us anymore. And I won't say, like, anymore, like it never happens, but, like, this isn't something that I worry about in an argument.
Do you think there's a such thing as too many arguments in a relationship?
Probably.
Who sets that number though? Like,
you do. The person in the relationship does. Like, if you are at a point where you can't enjoy home life because you can't seem to get along with a person that you love, man, you got some evaluating to do. Like,
so I have a question. Okay, so is it bad that you try to go on with your daily life to prevent an argument, or because my partner genuinely don't like this?
I don't know what you mean by that.
So let's say I'm taking this trash out so I don't hear her mouth, or I'm taking the trash out because she told me to take the trash out. Is me taking the trash out because I don't want to hear her mouth bad?
I don't think so necessarily.
Could it come off as rude?
If you say so.
So if I say that to her,
yeah,
I
that's
don't
definitely.
I'm about to take the trash out.
Yeah, you're definitely, like, I think the only reason to say that is to antagonize. Like, you don't gain anything from that.
True.
But what I will say is something that men often in relationships have to deal with is silent expectations. And that caused a gigantic problem in my relationship, which is why we had to work on her being more vocal about her problems. Because, and this happens often. I've spoken to many men about it. And we all agree, so far, all the men that I've spoken to that have been in relationships, all agree that there are silent expectations where you don't tell me what it is that you want from me, what it is that you expect, not even want, because a desire is one thing, and expectation is another thing. Like, not getting your desires, as long as you're not like an adult child, you can accept not getting your desires.
Yeah.
But when you expect something,
this is a deal breaker.
It's a deal breaker. Yeah. Not like you are really holding this against somebody. But if you don't express it to them, they have way less of a chance of meeting your expectation.
What do you think is the biggest argument to prevent an argument? The biggest thing you can do?
Communicate, no question.
As I say, that's my answer. Like, that truly changes life. I ain't gonna just say argument. That shit changes lives.
It does, but if you were to ask me, what is the thing that leads to most arguments, I would say communication.
Because people don't know how to.
I don't think that's true. I think that, well, okay, let me backtrack. You're probably right that causes a lot of issues in relationships. But I think more than anything, it would be people don't know how to react to communication. Like, my reaction, bro, probably 98% of the arguments that I've had with my wife in the last 2 years have been because one of us communicated something that we disliked. Something like a boundary that we definitely wanted to set, and the other reacted emotionally in defense.
Yep.
I wouldn't even say play victim, but like literally just defending themselves.
Yeah.
Like completely emotionally though.
Yeah, I want to kick that naturally. I really want to kick
Not
that.
even accepting that, like, oh, this is something that bothered you. It's like, this bothers you? This is...
Stop. You sounding like me. Oh, stop. Wow. Yeah. That's me. That is me. Especially because sometimes I hate that I don't feel the way she feels about certain things.
Yeah.
And I think it would be so much easier if I felt this way about the things she feels so passionately about.
Luckily for you, perspective makes it to where you don't have to.
Right. So that's why I learning how to communicate is such it's a goal for me, a big goal for me.
Yeah.
And it's so hard though, so hard because it's like I get stuck in my way sometimes, and it's hard to move past that rock that's just standing on the road. Like, and I think it takes so much time.
So you're saying that you're not, when you want to communicate, you're not invested enough to communicate properly. Like, when you don't care, you have difficulty communicating with someone who cares.
Yes.
So, like, I love that that's the case. Not that I love that you're having this problem, but I love that that's the case so that they can get both perspectives, because I'm the exact opposite. I care way more than the people I'm arguing with. Almost every time. I care so much more than the people that I'm arguing with. And I will over-communicate.
Yeah.
Like, I want this to not end until we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Like,
now,
and
I'm
also,
with that
like,
too.
I care so much more than you do. Like, I'm willing to keep having this conversation, and you were done with it an hour ago.
And then what's hard for me is when I don't care about it, it shows. But because you care about it, I want to care about it. Like, but because I don't care about it, my face is like, I don't give a fuck about what you're saying. But I want to care. But just that want is not enough. And I hate that. I hate that want is not enough.
Yeah, man. How long is it between you realizing that you want to care and you having a conversation as if you care?
Is that fake?
No. How long? What I'm asking is because you have the argument and you want to care but you don't.
Yeah.
but you feel bad about that. And so you have the next conversation, whether it be apologizing or acknowledging that you didn't care and you really wanted to. How long between the argument and you acknowledging that?
So I'll leave things out. It's not long because I'm telling you, I really don't care. And then I'll try to hurry up and get to a solution, but it comes off as nonchalant.
Yeah.
And all I want to do is just solve your problem. That's all I want to do. But I don't care enough about your problem. I'll let you know. I really don't care, but what can I do to make it better? You're always just saying that to shut me up. Well,
oh my god.
But that's what I'm saying. Bro. Like, I just want to get to the end of this. I don't care. Like, I just want to get to the end of this for your sake. Like, I'm not losing sleep over it. Let's do this for you.
I think you're missing it, though. Because you do care about how it affects her.
That's it.
But that's enough to care. Like, there isn't a difference between caring about the thing itself and caring about how it will affect her if you don't behave as if you care about the thing itself. Behaving like you changing your actions, you changing your behavior to show that you care that it's going to upset her, looks the exact same as you behaving as if you care about the thing.
Gotcha.
It looks the same.
See, I wouldn't know because maybe
because you never behave like you care.
Like again, I wear my heart on my sleeve, man. So it's hard to fake the funk, like for real. It's hard to fake the funk.
For now.
Like
for now, man. After seeing how much growth in the last 3 years, for now.
Yeah.
For now, man.
I want to learn how to bite the bullet too.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Yeah. I want to learn how to do that.
You know how many times I've been right and not said it?
Yeah.
Zero. Literally zero. Zero in my whole life. And I don't want that to be the case, but it is.
Yeah. Me being right sometimes kills the mood, like for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I just gotta bite that bullet. I'm learning. I've been told that that's what needs to be happening. I knew I grew because I was like, you crazy. Like, why would I bite the bullet on telling the truth? Like, who does that? But if it saves the happiness of the day, it's worth it.
I know, dude. So, I know, bro. And that's what I've been trying to move on. And that's difficult. But, you know, we closing in on the end of this. And something that we haven't done before yet is how I would like to close this episode. You know, to me, like, this feels like a great conversation. I appreciate your perspective. But because this whole episode has been acknowledging our problems, what is it that you will actively try to work on, like, moving forward from this conversation? Now that you have, like, openly, publicly acknowledged that you have these unhealthy traits, like, what is it that you no longer have an excuse not to work on from here on out?
Oh, that's a great question. It has to be arguing with emotion. Now, I just recently had an argument this morning. I called you.
Yeah.
And you saying that just made me realize I argue with emotion. And you heard my fiance say, like, when he cares about it, he'll talk about it. Right? And that's only when I argue with my emotions. I can count on my hand how many times I argue with emotion. I know each argument. Because I didn't know it was arguing with the emotion until you just said it.
Yeah.
Like, because I felt so passionately about this. There's no pause in this shit. We talking about this shit right now.
Yeah.
And that's so selfish of me. Because I expect her to be able to pause her emotions.
Yep.
So I definitely want to work on that, without a doubt.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one. That is the one.
That's
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. I never thought about that.
Good luck to you, man.
Because I always thought I was arguing for a purpose. But the arguments that's popped in my head, I'm arguing because I was hurt. Strictly just because I was hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I just want you to know that I'm hurt. And that's not the way I handled it is not the way it should be handled. Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. No ifs, ands, or buts. I handled it 100% wrong.
I love that shit.
And I'm open to that. 100%
I love that shit.
wrong. And then
again, I don't like. I know I cut you off, but I don't want it to pass. The last thing you said is something that literally never would have happened 3 years ago. I went about that completely wrong. You never would have said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Darren used to do no wrong.
No wrong.
No wrong at all. He was perfect. What's yours? I gotta hear yours.
Arguing with emotion in the large scale, but specifically because the thing that I do the worst right now is once my wife gets emotional, once she's the one in the like emotional driver's seat.
You mean like the asshole stage of hers, or like
regardless of how it, like definitely that, but literally any of that, I'm no longer arguing rationally. I'm no longer trying to get to the point. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to be more right and make you more mad. Anytime she tries to push a button, it works. Yeah. And what I want is for that to not work, because I can now acknowledge that we're not arguing from a point of trying to get to the bottom of something. Like, I have the ability to acknowledge it, but that doesn't mean, and you were there for that last argument that we had, and you heard me, the like, it was losing, I was losing it.
But you know what scares me about that? I would feel like that would send the wrong message, because I think about my woman. I would think if she can't get a reaction out of me, I don't want her to think she's losing me.
Listen. If the only way that she feels like she has you is by being able to upset you easily, that's not not you need to move on, but y'all definitely need to figure that part out.
Yeah.
Like, my wife knows that she can get a rise out of me in a million different ways.
Yeah.
You don't have to make me angry to get me to emote to you. But like, that's my biggest difficulty right now, is that even in, as I said, you were there for that last argument where I was arguing from a point of trying to get to the bottom of it. I'm trying not to be emotional. I even expressed to her, look, we don't have to get emotional about it. I'm just trying to, and if you're not ready to have a conversation, When she was unreceptive to that, my voice started getting louder. Your boy started getting hot. My ears got hot. It was like, oh nah. So I gotta try to, as easily as I can, address or acknowledge when that flip switches, or that switch flips. Mm-hmm. Like, as easy as I can acknowledge the switch between emotional and rational, I need to be able to stay on that path when the emotion is there. Like, I can see the emotion, and I can be like, oh shit, look at the emotion over there. Like, I can see it, but what I can't do is not get hit by it and get in a fight with it.
Yeah. And another one for me is realize it's okay to turn around when you know you're wrong. The moment you know you're wrong, turn around. You don't have to stay on that road.
Yeah.
Like,
and you know, it literally takes you saying it. It literally, because in this one, I'm not even looking at Darian right now. I'm talking to the listeners. You know.
Yep.
You know. In the argument, when you bail and you realize that you are now just angry and you're just trying to make the other angry, you know. Like, you could pretend you don't know, but you know.
And it's okay to turn around.
It's totally fine, man.
Like, you're actually a better person turning around in that moment. Don't let the pride override.
Yeah, but you look wrong.
That's the thoughts in the head.
Yeah, but you look wrong.
That's the thoughts in the head.
No, that's a fact though. So. And I mean, out of all of the things that you might want to better, out of all of the things that I might want to better in my relationship, this one is so important to me, because when I have these arguments, whether it be with my wife, my mom, or someone else that I care deeply about, mm-hmm. I have seen certain arguments in relationships. Like, the way that my family got out, the reason that I got good at the arguments is because niggas was lonely, and I watched my family like break. I watched my family fracture because of arguments, because of not being able to see the other's perspective, and also being in that emotional state where it's fuck it. You hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you. Like let's just go in a circle then. And like I had to start learning how to not lose relationships that I care about. This one is the biggest thing for me that I would want to change in my relationship. This is one of the things that I want to be healthy in my relationship, just because if ever we grow apart, which happens to couples, it happens to friends, it happens to anybody who may be in a relationship, if ever we grow apart, it's not going to be something that I saw coming. It's not going to be something that I could have changed if only I had taken that step.
Damn. That's wow.
And I think everyone, to some degree, can at least see that in their own relationships. Like, you can identify the thing in your relationship that, if you changed it, everything would be better, and you wouldn't have to worry about this being the thing that ended your relationship. There's a thing that you could do that could definitely help that along. And this, it just feels like one of the easier things, because all you have to remember is that you really give a fuck about that person. Like, you just have to remember, I know that I'm right now. I know that they're wrong right now. I know that we disagree. I love the shit out of that person.
Wow, that's so fire, because I think that's how my fiance thinks. And it sucks I'm not like that. Like, my defense mechanism kicks in and be like, well, she wanted to go. Like, I don't like to think that I pushed her away.
Yeah.
And I think that's just me protecting myself.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not willing to accept it was on me. So yeah, that shit's so fucking fire that you said that shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You just gotta accept it, man. You gotta accept it, and you gotta figure out a way
to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least to make the effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Take that first step.
Take that first step, man. Well, another ep
in the books.
We appreciate y'all greatly. Please tap in with us.
Yeah.
This takes a lot. Like, we don't even do much here, but it takes a whole lot. So any interaction from y'all, it literally lets us know that we're on a path that y'all are fucking with. So it is essential to us for y'all to keep on tapping in. And I personally have gotten plenty of conversation from this podcast, and it is reassurance that this is something that we should be doing.
And we're doing it right, it feels like.
So we appreciate y'all. Keep tapping in. The OO Pod Boys on Twitter. The Overly Opinionated Podcast on Instagram.
Let us know how y'all argue.
The Overly Opinionated Pod on Gmail. And let us know how y'all argue, and let us know how much of a piece of shit we are, because we need it. We really do. Like, sometimes I'm certain that being right means that I'm great. So let me know I ain't shit.
Bring us back down to earth.
Yeah. Or let us know that we great, but maybe not so much of that. Let us know how y'all feel about it, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday.